Happy Pride, everyone! Woo! Come on, I don't feel it. Happy Pride! Yes, good afternoon. Oh, it's great to be here in person. I got to touch the flesh a little bit when I walked in here. I want to thank you, Sean and Sage, for having us and for everything that you do. This really is a wonderful day. As I look around at all you, I feel hope, I feel possibilities, I feel dreams crackling in the air. You know, last night I watched an episode, one of the last episodes. I know I'm behind, no spoilers, please. I watched one of the last episodes of Pose, and during the show I saw an ad about a trans woman who was interviewing for a job. And I watched two men kissing over a bottle of boy butter. And I was just, my mouth fell open. It's a new world. It's a new world. I know we've got farther to go, but it's a new world. When I moved to New York City a year after college, I could not have imagined any of this. It was 1977. I was a poet. I identified as a lesbian. But most people couldn't be out at all in those days, not with their identity at work. I mean, if you were out, you didn't have a job or you lost that job. I was only out with my friends at clubs like Bonnie and Clyde's. Anybody remember Bonnie and Clyde's? No? Okay. I'm kind of old. Weekly organization meetings like Salsa Soul Sisters in a room that was loaned by a church in the village because there's no other place to go. And like so many other young people, I came to New York looking for work, looking for love, looking for community. And it really wasn't easy. I struggled. I struggled a lot, but others struggled much more than I did. Early on, I met a beautiful, long-legged, young dancer in her 20s, her name was Ariel, who leapt to her death from a window. I became friends with a talented writer who struggled with an eating disorder for decades and recently passed away. And in the group that I spent a lot of time with regularly, more than one or two people struggled with alcoholism and had violence in their relationships. And it breaks my heart that so many of the young folks that I met, young folks that I knew who were my family in my 20s, are gone now. There should have been less hardship and more happy endings. And so when I became First Lady, I knew I wanted to prioritize support for LGBTQ young people because I know how much they benefit from having mentors and a safety net. So we founded the Unity Project a few years ago. It's the first program of its kind ever in New York City to support LGBTQ youth. And the results have been very satisfying. Many wonderful stories, providing housing and job training, making sure young people have access to health care, including mental health care, connecting them to peer support. And just a few weeks ago, we launched Unity Works, which is history making, the largest workforce development program ever created for LGBTQ communities. You can applaud if you like. Oh, we gotta, find the joy, right? Definitely gotta appreciate the joys that we have. Now, we've come a long way, but we still have a lot farther to go. And I want everyone here to know that these are trying times. We got our work cut out for us, but there is always help, and there's always hope, always. If you know someone who's struggling, or if you're struggling, I want everyone to know that we got a phone number. We got NYC Well. You can call and speak to a trained mental health professional any time of night or day, confidentially, for free. It's 1-888-NYC-WELL. Can you say that with me? 1-888-NYC-WELL. One more time. 1-888-NYC-WELL. Thank you. I want you to remember that number and pass it on to people because you never know when they just need someone to talk to. right? And because they don't have someone that they can trust or someone who might have answers for them. Now, at this number, they have counselors who can connect you to queer therapists. They know all the resources in the city. Back in my day, we didn't even have the Gay Community Center, or whatever they're calling it now. There was nothing. Now we have a lot, but a lot of people don't know how to connect to these services, to the resources. You call that number, and they can make that connection for you. It's not possible for everybody to know everything. And we have LGBTQ community centers in all 5 boroughs, like this one. Some are still offering virtual services, but some are beginning to open up, so you can be there in person. So there's always some place to go and get these resources. Some places like this where people can find health care, housing, a job, or someone to talk to. Again, there's always help and there's always hope. And there's so many more places to socialize and to connect to other people that are healthy. That's what we wanted. So please take advantage of it. Now, I have the pleasure of introducing someone who has fought for equality and dignity across our city for a long, long time. I met him when he was fighting for domestic partnership to be legal. And as mayor, he has made sure that no matter who you love, how you identify, New York City is your home. So please welcome my partner, our mayor, Bill de Blasio.
Chirlane and I worked together for domestic partnership. We liked the idea so much, we tried it out ourselves. You never know what will happen when you start working with someone. So everybody, it is a joy to be with you. This is an amazing moment in history that we are experiencing together. We went through hell last year, all of us. And this community in particular, here in the Bronx, had such profound challenges. And we all understood we were dealing with something unlike anything we could possibly imagine. And people say to me a lot, well, how do you feel? How are you doing? You guys went through so much. How are you? And I said, you know what? The fact that it's 2021 and it's getting better every day, and it's the summer of New York City, and we are making our comeback. That's how I feel. We are coming back. It's a good feeling, isn't it? Yeah. And thank you, everybody who's here, because you're part of that comeback in New York City. You're part of what makes New York City great. You do so much for the community. I want to thank everyone, and I want to say officially, Happy Pride. So who are we as New Yorkers? We are the city with the largest LGBT community on earth, and we are proud of it. And we're working every day for a more inclusive city. And I am so thrilled that we're having this gathering at Destination Tomorrow, because this is an example to me of people coming together to do something that was needed in this city, that was not easy to create, but was necessary, working, struggling, and ultimately victorious. And we wanted to be here. There are a lot of great places to celebrate Pride in New York City, but this was the place to send a message. This needs to be about the community. This needs to be about the people. I want to thank everyone who has joined us here. This is a very special time because we have new leaders coming up. All of us who have been leaders before, it was an amazing, amazing experience. Chirlane and I have 6 more months in this role. We're also here with a great leader who we went on this journey with, the former Speaker of the New York City Council, Melissa Mark Viverito. Thank you. A lot of the spicier things we achieved in this administration was with partnership with you, so thank you. We knew no limits, so good things happen. But now a whole new generation of leadership coming up. One of whom was elected before this election, just a short while ago, new council member Oswald Feliz. Thank you. Please thank Oswald and congratulate him. And 2 incoming members of the City Council who just got elected, more women than ever before. took a few decades, but we got there. Councilmember Marjorie Velasquez, to be. Let me be one of the first to say it to you. Incoming council member, I got a little ahead of myself. And incoming council member Althea Stevens. Congratulations. So everyone, the beautiful thing about New York City is we do not get lost in our history. We honor our history, we learn from it, but then we always create something new. So a half century ago, Stonewall Rebellion started so much that was necessary. But we don't sit around and say, oh, let's look back and just admire from afar and call that enough. We take inspiration and we really honor the folks who stood up when it was really, really tough, and then we keep going. We keep coming up with more and more. Just in these last years, creating an LGBTQ healthcare Bill of Rights, something the community needed and deserved. We've done that in the city. The equal access bathroom law, crucial in this city. The law, and I was so honored to sign it, creating a third gender category on New York City birth certificates. All these are ways of saying everyone belongs. Everyone matters. So if we're going to keep doing this work of inclusion and respect, it has to be at the grassroots. Chirlane and I have had this conversation many, many times, that not just in this movement for liberation, but in many others, we saw plenty of racism, plenty of sexism, plenty of classism, even in movements that were trying to do something positive. On the one hand, they were reflecting society's inequalities and insufficiencies on the other hand. What I love about this moment in history is it's all on the table now. I'm not saying we're at all perfect in the way we're talking about things. We still got work to do. But more than any point I've ever seen, there is a more honest conversation, a more inclusive conversation, a recognition that you can't just be noble and correct some of the time and leave out a whole bunch of other people in the process. You actually have to think about bringing everyone in. That has taken a lot of work, and a lot of people in this room contributed to that work. But that makes me hopeful. It makes me hopeful. When the whole conversation is better, then a whole lot of other things can change. So being here again makes me energized. This center, once upon a time, would have been considered an impossibility. And then it became a reality, and now so many people are helped and supported and encouraged, and they will go out and reach others. It just keeps growing and getting better. So as part of this celebration, I want to honor Destination Tomorrow, and I want to particularly honor someone who saw the need and did something about it. A lot of times we see the need, but not everyone is quite as courageous and energetic as this individual in doing something about it. He created this space and made sure it was by and for the LGBTQ community, and someplace where people could get support, whether it was healthcare or job support, whatever it was, a place you could go and know it was about you. That's an amazing thing. So I want to call up someone who really we all need to honor today, a native of the Bronx, Sean Coleman. Come on up. Sean's fashion ensemble today. Did you polish those sneakers? Yes, I did. Okay, I was going to say. Went to the store for sneaker polish. And now, in the spirit of collectivity, and Sean is worthy of being honored himself, but we're going to honor the whole organization because it is about everyone. Yes. So I have a proclamation I'd like you to hold up here, Sean. Sure. Well, first, I'm going to do this first. I should know this by now. First, we smile brightly. Now, hold on to that 1 second before I call you up, because I want to. That's perfect. Yeah, make it, bring it out, bring it all out, okay? Work it. Okay. This proclamation is about why Destination Tomorrow is so important, was so historic, so crucial. But I'm not going to reiterate all that, you know. But I'm going to read the last sentence because I love this sentence. because it gets to the best part. Because I proclaim officially as mayor of New York City, Tuesday, June 29th, 2021, in the city of New York as Destination Tomorrow Day.
Sean? Thank you. I get to put you to work. Okay. I prepared some words so I wouldn't drop an F-bomb, so hold on. Okay. I stand on the shoulders of greatness. Bayard Rustin, I speak your name. Marsha P. Johnson, I speak your name. Stormy Delavery, I speak your name. Elizabeth Coleman, my granny, I speak your name. It is because of you that I exist. Thank you for your labor and your sacrifice. Thank you, Mayor de Blasio, for this acknowledgement. It is not lost on me that this is in fact a historical event. This is the first time that I'm aware of that a Black trans organization has received this honor. Thank you for your work with and for members of the LGBTQ+ community. You have been a faithful ally, always ready with a listening ear to the concerns most pressing for my community. I started Destination Tomorrow back in 2009 because I didn't see me represented in LGBTQ+ spaces in New York City, but more specifically in the Bronx. I recognized the lack of focus for organizations in the outer boroughs, even though most of the need were in these very boroughs. I saw it as unjust that one would have to leave their neighborhood to access affirming, safe LGBTQ+ programs and services. I watched as those without the lived experiences dictated what programs and services should be or would be successful. I knew my community deserved better. I also wanted to create that which I needed when I was coming up. As someone who is formerly homeless, has been incarcerated, and has been denied employment because of my gender presentation, I wanted to create something that was for us, by us. I love that saying, nothing about us without us. I wanted to show that us not only knew what needed to be done, but we knew how to do it. Our goal at Destination Tomorrow is to provide the tools needed to not only survive, but to thrive. We do this every day effortlessly because we understand what it means to be on the other side of the desk. We know how it feels to couch surf or be involved in sex work. We knew way before it was popular that sex work was work. And we made every effort to make sure that our brothers and sisters who participated in this line of work had exactly what they needed. This has been a labor of love for me, so much so that I ain't getting no money until 2012, didn't receive a salary until 2012. I want to take a moment to thank my support system, my beautiful wife, Janae, and my beautiful daughter, Shawanda. Now, I know, I'm not easy to deal with, but you both make it seem like a walk in the park. Thank you for loving me when the world told me I wasn't deserving of love. You both made sure I wanted for nothing while I grew this agency. Once there was a budget, I went and found the most dedicated people I knew to take this journey with me. I am nothing without my staff. Jahaira Gonzalez, my Sage Rivera, Rebecca Hammer, she handles the money, y'all. Isha Artillery, Dr. Pope, Mimi Shelton, Jonathan Irish, Nia Reed, Jason Garcia, James L. Good, Angel Donahue, and Kelly Strands. We are our Destination Tomorrow. We've been written off and judged based on our presentation, and still we rise. To my board of directors, Ms. Toy Frederick, and Ms. Dominique Jackson. We did it, Joe. We did it. Thank you for believing in the dream and allowing me to run with ideas that, while unconventional, are just what was needed to create change. While Pride Month is coming to a close, pride is every day around here. So let me end with a call to action, because you know I wasn't going to get up here and not ask y'all something. Or rather, just something I'm going to ask every elected official. Don't tuck your little rainbow flag away until next year. You can put the flag down, but you have to pick up where the de Blasio administration leaves off. If the pandemic showed nothing, it showed the disparities within the healthcare system, racial and gender disparities that have existed for far too long and that have caused folks to lose their lives and their livelihoods. We need concrete, borough-specific solutions that will look to replace a gender-based system with one whose sole focus is providing competent medical care. Housing is healthcare. If there are way too many people in this great city of ours without a place to call their own. We need to look at other options, as the antiquated shelter system, that just don't work for my people. The quickest way to build wealth is through home ownership. We, members of the LGBT community plus, deserve a home of our own and the security of building equity through ownership. Lastly, violence against the trans community, particularly Black trans women, we must address it. You know, I was angry when my Asian American brothers and sisters were being attacked for no other reason than who they are. But I was equally angry at the speed with which our federal government acted to protect them. That was a direct response to the outcry from the community. Where's your outrage at against the violence against trans people? What are you doing to push back against these anti-trans laws being passed or pushed across the country? On the 10th anniversary of the passing of marriage equality, I say to you, it's time to regroup again. Time to assemble the team and take our show back on the road. We must show that violence against any member of our community will not be tolerated. The first Pride was a riot, y'all. I think it's time to suit up again. May the ancestors continue to show you all favor. I love you all just because, and I'm so appreciative of everyone for coming out today. Thank you so much.
You go your own way. Oh yeah, one more. Let's make it official. There we go.
It's DT Day, y'all. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Sean, powerful. Wasn't that powerful? Wasn't that beautiful? I think you need to applaud him some more. Everyone, I want to emphasize something that Sean said about healthcare. The disparities, what we saw in COVID. We knew it in many ways, but it came out ever more painfully and sharply, and the world saw it. Now we got to be conscientious about getting healthcare to everyone who needs it. And one thing we have in New York City that I don't know why it doesn't get more attention, and it needs to, and it should. I'm going to ask everyone to be an ambassador here. We guarantee health care in New York City in this way. If someone cannot qualify for health insurance on the exchange, we have a health insurance program here in New York City we call NYC Care. Does not matter whether you are documented or not. It does not matter whether you have a little bit of money or even no money. If you need insurance, we will get you insurance. If you're not qualified for insurance, we give you a health care card. You get a primary care doctor, you get all the special services through our health and hospitals and clinics. It is free health care for anyone who cannot afford to pay. And again, regardless of documentation status. If anybody you know cannot afford a health plan, all they have to do is call 311. This is the only city in the country that guarantees health care. So please spread that word so many others can get what they need. Help us spread that word. Now, everyone, I want to talk about a documentary I saw a long time ago, and I was deeply moved by. And for so many of us, we go on our journey of understanding, and we have those moments where, you know, some light shines in and some understanding, some appreciation, some solidarity, some sensitivity. When I saw Paris is Burning, it was like a thunderbolt. An extraordinary work of art that opened my eyes to a heroic reality of folks creating something no matter how much the world around them tried to put them down or reject, people creating something beautiful and new. And that time in history is being celebrated anew, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But I want to just go back to the original moment. And thank God for that documentary that gives us a feeling of being there and what it meant. The folks who created that moment and that movement, who created the ballroom scene and all the joy and the solidarity and the support that went with it, they were heroes, they were creators, they were change agents, and so much that we've all done since got elevated by that movement. And yes, it was about joy and it was about artistry, but it was a movement too, from my perspective, because it changed minds and elevated people and gave people strength. And we are so honored that someone who was a pivotal figure in that time and who now continues to be here to build and support the work of Destination Tomorrow is here with us. A legendary ballroom MC and a change agent to this day. I'm going to provide, on behalf of the people in New York City, a certificate of recognition to someone I can only call a true New York City legend. Please come up, Junior LaBeija. Cameras, have your moment. Junior, the stage is yours.
I have a right to show my color. I am beautiful, and I know I'm beautiful. She looks terrible. Look at her. You deserve the best in life, but not tonight. Crystal LaBeija. I am overwhelmed and I am honored because I come from women. My mother was a brilliant, stylish, elegant, philosophical, fierce woman of the tongue. Of my Indian heritage, I am Cherokee and Black Sioux. I am not shady, I am fierce. Shake the dice and steal the rice. That was a nice way of letting you know that wherever you go, you're going to have to work. But you better run with that rice, because rice goes with everything. Rice and beans, rice and eggs, plain rice, souped up rice. I said something at 19, and I'm saying it today at 63. Pop a lease and mop some keys. God bless the child that has his own. Billie Holiday said it. James Baldwin taught me through Giovanni's Room that when you get to be a senior citizen like I am, have your own, and if he's a drunk, have his pint of wine, because he's still with you. I know what EBT actually means, the acronym, eat better tonight. I remember the 5-pound block of cheese that welfare used to give. I got mad when they gave it to Russia. Do the research, because I follow that cheese. I'm going to tell you something about depression. I was depressed in 2017. Depressed. Because I assumed that my greatness was supposed to be rewarded. And it was. The God of my understanding in my earlier life sent me to a house of transgendered women who were substance abusers. And they never allowed me to put a syringe in my arm. I was raised by them. I know every horse troll in existence. And I know what it means to be in a Black and Latino community. I've never denied a substance abuser. I sit with them every day around that corner. Right there. I saw one of them pass out. And I stood there and called the hospital to make sure that he gets health care. See, medicine is sick care, not health care. Food is health care. I'm going to end with this. We live in the greatest city in the world. But raise your hand if you have ever been hungry in New York. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Junior. That was beautiful and powerful, and thank you for all you have done for this city. Give Junior another round of applause. Now, we've got a wonderful performance that's going to help pull this all together and close this out. But I just have to say, as a fan, did Dominique actually come into the room back there? Could we tempt Dominique to come up here for a moment? Would you come up here and join us? Dominique, you slay me. Come, please. Your mayor must see you. I wonder, I have to say something about you with great honor and respect, and I wonder if you will then share any thoughts you have. So I just wait during pose for that dialogue moment where Dominique will get to do her thing, and I just wait for it, and there are many. I've been watching the most recent episodes. I think your explanation of your fine working relationship with the mafia is one of my personal favorite moments. The mafia are wonderful to work with, but the part I have to say, and I could name many. I seriously, I am like your dialogue fanboy here for everything you did, because you did it just beautifully, flawlessly. But when you start the House of Wind tour, and then there's that pause, and you say, Wintour is coming, which is like across the generations, timeline, wordplay. It was brilliant. Everything you have done in that show is brilliant.
Thank you.
We are so proud of you. Would you grace us with a few words, please?
Well, first I must say thank you to the mayor and to the First Lady. I have been watching you and fans of you. Been at the what was that place that where you live? Yeah, thank you. I am on a total healing process right now. Delivering Electra was fun and amazing, but it was also quite painful and traumatic. But I must say thank you for what you have done for New York City, the both of you. You have been absolutely amazing, and thank you for instilling things in the entire community, in all of us, that we are human beings and we are people. to Mr. Coleman, my die-hard brother, the guy I used to cross the street when he was coming down the block. And I say that because with support, you never know where someone can go. When you see people, you never know the potential that they may have. So let's not look at the presentation. Let's not look at the track record of where we have had to come from in order to get to where we are. But let's look at the potential that that individual has. Let's look at the legacy that can be left. Junior LaBeija should be living in mansions. You should be celebrated all over the world. As a little child, I watched you. I heard those words. And it gave me the motivation to stand before you with my head held high as a regal woman, because that is what ballroom taught me. So today, and also today is kind of my birthday too. Not my actual birthday, but we're gonna leave that. But I just wanna say to each and every one of you in this room, you are a blessing, and we are blessings to each other. We must support each other. We must forget about the shade. You see poles and you wanna go straight for the shade, but that shade was to protect us. Now we need to engage, envelop, and love. Now we need to show pride 365 days a year. And once again, Sean, the mayor, and the First Lady, I thank you, and Junior LaBeija, and Destination Tomorrow, I thank you for what you have done for the LGBTQ community, that a trans woman in the Bronx can walk through the Bronx and say, I have a place to go to. Thank you.
I'm just going to be floating on air for a while here. I met Dominique. You are regal. You really are regal, and a blessing. So thank you. Thank you. Everybody, let's now celebrate a wonderful moment together, and let's bring forward the youth of Destination Tomorrow and the Sobro Pride Dance Troupe.
Book of Revelation, chapter 7, verses 16 and 17. Yes, sir. They shall hunger no more, neither shall they thirst anymore. Preach, preacher. For God shall wipe away, yes, sir, every tear from their eye. Yes, sir. Get ready for the revolution. Come on. What you say?
We gonna start this thing alright. Move all in it up from now. Come on.
I ain't scared, I'm a bitch. I ain't shy, but some bad, cause I been that. Check it out, y'all. You liking what you see? Everything designer, that's me. Here we go.
5, 6, 7, 8. Be gone. Don't make her too strong. Get back. Don't let her attack. Be gone. Don't make her too strong. Move. You can't be classy. Don't make her ashy.
And if you got me, you better fuss with your teeth. Make sure you keep so deep.
That I was the best in the town, so I came down and had to pick up my crown, pick up my crown, pick up my crown. I'm realistic, I'm narcissistic. My shoe came with me.
These girls fall like bad bitches. She do it, I say so too. Big for these little big ass Draco. I got a new
Once upon a time, and I heard that I was ugly. Came from a chick who wanna touch them up, then the match, up, then up, then the back, cause you couldn't stop.
Ready to get started. Peace.
Corvette.
Grandma let her when she clap for him. Grandma let her when she clap for him.
Clap for him.
Make it clap. Let's go. Make it clap. Let's go.
I wonder what will happen if I touch this.
Jump around.
All right, let's go.
Man,
Ready or not?
woman,
Bring it back, come rewind.
Oh, I got a live one here.
Can we please have a moment of silence for all our fallen soldiers we've had during this terrible pandemic? We love you, we miss you, until we see you again.
So no one take it personal.
Bend over, yeah, bend over, just like that. Bend over, yeah, bend over like something drop. Slowly arch your back, sink it in and arch your back. Take your time and arch your back. Now get ready to start the TikTok.
breaker.
To close out our program, please welcome Octavia Anye.
Chase
Unbelievable. Another round of applause, everybody. Beautiful performances. And everybody, all I can say is, and I don't mean to be a little cheesy here, but I feel better about tomorrow because of Destination Tomorrow. You can quote me. Happy Pride, everybody.